Hi, everybody. I am Olivia Scott, and I am the Assistant Professor of Advertising at Loyola University, New Orleans. And tonight, you are in for a treat with Behind the Ad. So, as some of you know, at Loyola, we have an amazing program, School of Communication and Design. And as a professor of advertising, we talk a lot about different areas of advertising and marketing. And events happens to be one of them, and also one of the ones that my students are most interested in. So, although this is a summer break, right, and many of the students are kind of scattered all around the world, we could not be in New Orleans and not have a moment with the Essence Festival team. Tonight, I am so excited to present to you Michael Barclay, who is the Executive Vice President of Essence Ventures. Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm so happy to be here and happy to speak to your class and represent our Essence family as we are ready to bring it on back to New Orleans for yet another year at Essence Festival. So we're excited.
We are so happy to have you back. Let's just go right into it. So, for everybody who does not know, okay, Mr. Michael Barclay is indeed a legend. So, Michael has worked. Do you accept that? Do you accept that honor?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll take it. You said it, not me. And this is being recorded. So that's perfect.
All right. So, Michael has worked at some of the most disputedly leading agencies in the world, including Leo. I call that my alma mater. I started my career in 1999, right? A long time ago. United Entertainment Group, Walton Isaacson, Common Ground, Mosaic North America. He is also an award winning creator, right? This is not somebody who just creates events. Michael has been at this craft and at this game for a really long time. He's won awards such as the Shorty Audience Award. He has won a Telly, and he's also won an Addy Award. So I'm just really happy to be in your presence, and I'm grateful that you're spending the time to educate the students because so much we do from a theoretical perspective in the classroom, but for them to actually hear from those that are practitioners and really like amazing seasoned practitioners as well. So you've done work for Spalding, you've done work for Pepsi, you've done work for Bacardi, Coors. Can you tell us, Michael, two of your favorite event activations that you've been a part of creating? And before you answer, I just want to tell my students, and any students who are listening, when we use the word activations, that simply means the event, right? So you have an event, but the activation is what happens on the ground. So with that said, Michael, can you just tell us a little bit about two of your favorite event activations you've been a part of creating?
Yep. And that's it's almost like asking who's your favorite child, right? But I do have two that I could speak to that are my favorite for two separate reasons. So I will start with a program that we created called StandUps Miller Time, which was it was basically American Idol for where we were looking for the next stand-up comedian star. And we went from different markets where we had preliminary events, and as the person won that market, they moved on to the next and to the next, and then we had a grand finale in Las Vegas for year one, and we had celebrity judges. Kevin Hart, along with some of the other comedians at the time that were our judges. So really, they gave real time feedback to the comedians. It was a full 360 campaign that had media support from a Complex Media was our partner, and so it was a very robust activation, like you said. So it was more than just experience. We had content, we had media, and why it's one of my favorites is really the strategy that came behind it all. Because again, one of the things, you listed all of those awards, and I'm happy to accept your moniker that you gave me, but it's all based on team and teamwork. And so the thing that I love about that program was the team that I was working with were saddled with a problem that needed to be solved through experience. And so the problem was with Miller Lite at the time, they were having issue and having trouble reaching the African American male consumer group and couldn't really figure out where they fit in the drinking occasion space. And so the insights that the team came up with was a natural fit for Miller Lite is in the comedy scene, in the comedy space. And then they also did some research um, that validated that they had a right to play in the space because of a history in supporting comics and also Black comedy clubs throughout the history of entertainment. So that strategy is what led to the creation of that program, and it was such a well received and authentic connection to the consumers that we were trying to reach, and it was just a lot of fun. I mean, we were on tour 4 days back to back to back with some of the funniest comedians. Just imagine what that's like, traveling with those guys in and out of different cities. So that was definitely number one. And another, again, difficult to pick, but this one I picked for a completely different reason, based on just the scale of what we created. So, not sure if you all are familiar with the Star show Power, but in Power, the main kind of focus with the main character is his nightclub, Truth. And again, problem given from a client at the time, F and Vodka. How do we make a connection between ourselves? We activate our partner at the time, who was 50 Cent, and how do we reach these consumers that we're trying to reach, which is our millennial African American male, African American female. And so the team developed the idea of, let's recreate the nightclub Truth and travel it around the country and give consumers the opportunity to really step into, which was at the time, one of America's favorite television shows. And so we literally built the nightclub. My production team built this nightclub that we traveled to New York. We had it in Chicago. We had it in LA. We had it in Atlanta. And, we had 2 nights in each city. 50 Cent came out one night. Rotimi, who was another character on the show, came out. And the greatest compliment that we received was from 50 when he first arrived. He said, "I feel like I'm on set." And so we recreated this nightclub that we really put in these event spaces around the country. And so it's just really exciting to see people's experience and their reaction to being able to get inside of the show. So those would be, if I had to pick two, those would be my two.
That's incredible. Did you come to New Orleans by any chance?
StandUps Miller Time came to New Orleans.
Okay.
2 years.
Okay.
2 years. But the Truth tour did not. So the cities were the ones that I named. Yeah.
So a couple of things that were consistent in both of them. Thank you for sharing both of those. Amazing. You have comments saying, "Oh my gosh, a whole power experience." That is really interesting. When we talk about events, I think it's really important for students who get it. Because I know when I was younger, I wanted to work in events too. That's what I wanted to work in. But I think it's important for us to help them understand that events, there's money to underwrite them, to produce them, right?
Absolutely.
And there's usually a point, there's usually an objective in producing the event. And so if we go, because we're Loyola School of Communication and Design, let's talk about this from a marketing perspective, right? You mentioned a couple of things, that one of your events produced content that you were able to leverage beyond. You also talked about audience. I want to really go into audience for a moment, because I think it's important that you punctuate that. You all had a very specific message that you needed to get across, and you wanted to engage a particular audience. Do you find across all of the events that you produce, Michael, that you always have an audience you're trying to reach?
Absolutely. And for my, I know we have a question about process and kind of jumping ahead, but for me, it always starts. You start with the end in mind. So whenever we get an assignment, or even here at Essence now, it's like, what are we trying to get out of this experience?
Right.
What are we trying to, and you get granular with it, because that is really important to figure out what it is that this experience needs to be. It helps guide the creativity, because again, when you're creating experience, it's all about bringing people together and engaging people. And so if you're going to do that, you got to know what the people want. And so I lean heavily on strategy, consumer insights, any data points that I can pull from any previous things, just to really get a sense. Because I know what I like,
Right.
what you like, but
Right.
it's not my birthday party. Like we're not throwing my event. This is something that is set to reach other people. So we need to know exactly how best to reach it. And that's the beautiful thing about events, is that you can create that bridge to reach folks through experience. You just need to know, where you're trying to take them. And so you can figure out, where, getting the right folks and doing the right things.
Great. So I want to talk about process, like literally a minute more, and then I want to go into essence, because for those who are watching right now and those who are going to watch later, since we have you as our celebrity tonight, they want to know about essence, right? So I'm going to get there in just 1 second. Just hang out, everybody. But what I want you to talk about, you just mentioned your process, and it sounds like the process definitely is rooted in the who, right? Your brand, who are you targeting? Consumer insights as to what they need. Then what
Right.
else? What else happens in your
And,
process?
and also thinking about, again, just the upfront thinking is also, what do we want them to get out of this experience? Like, what is it? Is there a call to action? Is there an introduction to a new brand? Is it a new consumer behavior that we're trying to influence? Is it, what is that? So all of that kind of goes into the planning. And then from there, it gets into the creativity part, where, we now have our strategy. With that strategy, we know what tactics we need to take on. We know what our outputs we want. So again, what are we going to be measuring this event for when it's over? Is it attendance? Is it the content that we pull out of it? Is it the engagement that content is going to get for us? What are we measuring? So now that we have all of that, then we get into the creative ideation process, which is often the fun part, which, it's brainstorming with a bunch of awesome creatives that can take this data and process it and say, all right, this is our consumer, this is what they're into, this is what's hot right now that actually makes sense for them, and really connecting those dots and coming out with a creative product that's going to be engaging, that folks are going to want to attend and want to come to. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your insights into your process. So
No
we're going
problem.
to get into it now. So first of all, I heard on the street that you are the newest, right? The latest and greatest executive, and probably the only executive vice president in history, executive vice president of Essence Ventures. So bow down to you. Congratulations for that. How you
Thank
feeling?
you so much. I'm loving it. One of the greatest decisions I've ever made in my life was to join this team. It's been a heck of a ride over the last 4 weeks, because that's how this is the top of week 4 or top of week 5 now. But I'm absolutely thrilled to be here, and the team is amazing, and I'm just honored to be a part of it. Yeah.
Well, congratulations again. And I think it is incredible. But upon reading your bio, I understand why they would have selected someone who is astute, as astute and as seasoned as you, because this is the nation's largest festival, period. 540,000 people descend upon Orleans. Can you tell us what mission is this festival, right? This festival has been going on over 25 years. People come far and wide globally. They've changed the name this year to Essence Festival of Culture. So
Mm-hmm.
there's about that a little bit too, about what that's doing. But tell us, what's the mission? Why does Essence continue to come back year over year and come back to New Orleans and produce this festival?
Well, first, our goal at Essence, and what our mission is to serve Black women deeply. We believe, and we act as if the Black woman is the CEO of home, culture, and community. And so everything that we do is to serve the Black woman, because from there, as the Black woman goes, so does the world. So as we serve deeply, the Essence Festival is a part of that service. And now more than ever, coming out of the last 2.5 years that we've gone into, we feel like bringing our culture together and serving our culture in this activation is very important. Um, as I'm sure anyone who's been to a festival or been outside recently, everybody is itching to get back together. And so we are very excited to be coming back in real life this year after 2 years of virtual, again, to continue that mission of serving the Black woman deeply through what we bring to New Orleans. And New Orleans has been a great host for us. We love New Orleans. we've said within our ranks as Essence doesn't make any sense anywhere else. And we've extended our relationship with New Orleans for the next, I believe it's 5 years. So, we are committed to coming back and doing even more in the community in New Orleans because we have such a deep connection with, and it has become synonymous with the city. To your point about the name change,
Yes.
that I can't take credit for because that was before my time that we made that beautiful decision to do that. But it really drives back to what I said is our mission. You
Okay.
know, Essence is more than a magazine. Essence is more than a music festival. Essence is a vehicle to serve Black women deeply through all of the things that that we have available to serve. So it is a cultural service more so than just those silos. And you'll see that this year at Festival with some of the additional programming that we have. It really is expanding that into being more of a service than simply just a media platform or a music festival. So that I think also is why we are the largest because we have so much to offer to our consumers and our guests and our attendees, and honestly, our family. It's family. We consider it a family reunion. So our family that's going to transcend upon New Orleans this year.
And so New Orleans, as you know, thank you so much. Because the culture piece, I'm going to come back to the New Orleans piece. When I think about, I've read that Essence Festival culture, and every time I see that,
Mm-hmm.
I get excited about it. I think that's such a smart move. And when you think about African people across the diaspora, right? Caribbean, African, it's just like, oh my gosh, Afro Latina, it's an opportunity to really expand beyond just African Americans. So congratulations to you guys for doing that as well. So, when we think about New Orleans, we think about all these different festivals. We have the Fried Chicken Festival, we've got Mardi Gras, we have Jazz and Heritage Festival. The list goes on and on. What makes the Essence so unique? My you might do, and you're like, for this festival. Tell them more for somebody who's not familiar at all with the Essence Festival. What makes the Essence Festival so unique?
So I think one of the main things that makes it unique is just the vibe that we create. Again, it feels like family. It's a family reunion. You see people walking around the city of New Orleans. Everybody's excited to be in town for Essence Festival. And then you have what we're offering to the community. So we do have, of course, we have music. We have amazing headliners and talent that are going to be performing this year.
Like who? Tell us. Don't tease us. I'm sorry. Tell us who. Who's going to be there?
I'll drop a few teasers. So we have this boy band that was from Boston that was a little popular at one point. I think you may be familiar. New Edition is on the roster for this year. We have a woman by the name of Nicki Minaj is gonna kick us off on Friday night. Kevin Hart is starting his national tour with us on Thursday. So in addition to all of that, we have the Queen, and honestly, the first concert I ever went to, and I'm so excited to see her in person, Janet Jackson. I went to the Rhythm Nation. Rhythm Nation was my first concert as a kid, so I'm very excited to see Janet perform on Saturday night in the Superdome. So in addition to the amazing talent that we bring, those are just the headliners. We got a ton of other talent that's going to be at each one of those shows. We also have different experiences, and this year we have some new things that we are premiering in the in real life space. So we have, for the first time ever, there's going to be a men's experience at Essence. So we have what's called Essence in His Zone. So we have a full men's experience that's happening in the convention center. 3 days worth of programming. It's going to be. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to see and catch some of those panels. In addition to, and again, getting into the culture thing and beyond just music and media, we have a tech summit. So it's the first year we're going to have a tech summit. We have a film festival that's also going to be included in the activities this year. And we have Uber Eats. I'm sorry, Uber Eats. Essence Eats, not Uber Eats, but Uber, if you want to come on as a sponsor, I got somebody I can talk to you, connect you with later. Essence Eats. Essence Eats. And so with Essence, we actually have two versions of Essence Eats. So we have a food and wine festival, but then we also have the let out edition, which is more of like the snacks and after the late night let out edition. So we we're going deep with some new experiences this year, and then we also have some enhanced VIP and after dark experiences. So we have Essence After Dark comedy, which is going to be run by Guy Tori, and an amazing allotment of comedians that he's been able to pull in. And again, just excited to see what that rendition is going to look like. We also have a VIP experience for the Beauty Carnival. So in addition to the typical Beauty Carnival situation, we got an enhanced experience. So it's a lot going on. We got a lot going on. Um,
Sounds good.
and I would, shameless plug, tickets are still available. To get more information about what's happening, I would say go to essencefestival.com. But also, one of the new things that we have offered this year too is we have a digital app, a cell phone, iOS, and Google Play app in the App Store, Essence Festival app that has all of this information as well as the ability to purchase tickets. And I highly recommend, if you're already planning on coming to festival, that you download the app, because there's some other technology and Easter eggs and so forth that will be unlocked as you are walking around the convention center and through the dome. So
Awesome. Okay, so let's just, as we close out, right? I want to take it back to you. So that was really, really helpful information and exciting information about Essence Festival. But we didn't just bring you here just because of Essence Festival, right? Really want to honor you as a seasoned veteran in this field. With this role at Essence Ventures, what is it you're hoping to accomplish that you have not accomplished yet? Because you've done so much in your career. I'll give you a moment to think about that, right? I didn't tell you I was going to ask you that, but you've done so much, and you are really a leader in this industry. What are you hoping to accomplish?
well, I think, and you did not ask me this question before, so I'm gonna go off the dome. This is a freestyle. Um, what really excites me about this opportunity is our mission, and the fact that we hold our mission dearly across all the senior leaders on our team, from our CEO, chairman, all of, and we're all, very new within the role. I'm the newest, but, we have a full C-suite that is younger than 18 months, in the role. And we're also very excited about driving this mission and, the importance of it right now, for our people, in this moment, with all the things that have happened over the last couple of years. I mean, what has happened in the history of our country, but specifically in the last 3 years. And also to a point that you made before about the diaspora and being able to serve Black women deeply, not only here, but anywhere and everywhere. And so to have that kind of vision and be led by that type of vision is very exciting to me, because it takes it beyond your typical creating experience. Like now we're going to be using experience to create community. We're going to be using experience to create content, to drive messaging, to support our audiences in our community. So to be able to use these gifts that I've been able to sharpen throughout the years for something as important as the mission at hand is really what I'm excited about. And I'm happy to have the support of our team and the faith from my team that I can help move this mission forward. And really, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. Well, we wish you well. A couple of other things. We have a question in the comments who's asked, how important is social media in these events? Is it coupled with the event marketing plan? Is there a push on social media during and after? And I think what we have is, students who are growing up in this world where there's social media first. And I think in our era of growing up and producing events, we didn't necessarily always have social media. So how would you recommend to students to integrate social media plans around event marketing, or before, after?
I think social media, not even I know for a fact that social media is very important when it comes to experiential planning and production. And Olivia, you touched upon a very valid point of, when we started doing this, social media didn't exist. And so one of the issues that I know for me, I would always run into is the scalability of what we did when it came to delivering on the key performance indicators,
Right.
right? It was always us versus television and commercials.
Right.
Why would I spend this money to throw an event that can only hold 1,500 people when I can spend that half of that or the same amount of that to run a billboard or run a television commercial that can get me a million impressions?
There you go.
So with
Real.
social media and content and all of that, now we create the content that drives social media that gets all of the eyeballs and the engagement. So if you're creating something from an experiential standpoint that does not include social media or a content strategy, then you're missing out on really what's the true engine that's driving what we do here. So it's very, very important. And quite honestly, now that we have that, we can stand toe to toe with commercials, billboards, and we have proof because social media gives you engagement numbers. We know, like, you can only estimate how many cars drive by a billboard. I can show you analytics from a social media post coming from an experiential activation as to how many people actually engage with that. So it's very, very important.
And you touched upon something. Thank you for answering that, and thank you for asking the question. It's interesting because when I've taught event marketing at NYU and now at Loyola, I've always taught my students to understand that an event is a replacement medium, right? You are choosing your time and your attention. Instead of giving your time and attention to a television show or to a radio show or to a podcast, you're giving your time and then money with an event to that particular thing. So now, when social media first came out, I remember, several years ago, we were struggling. We thought that it was like fight.
Right.
So now that we do have to figure out how to really make sure that we integrate them in a way that augments and amplifies our event experience. So we are so happy to have had you. The last question I have for you, for students who are like, I want to be just like him when I grow up, right? I want to have an event career. I want to win all those awards. I want to be an EVP at Essence. Can you tell us what skills are needed to be a good event or experiential marketer? What's needed?
Organizational skills, definitely. You're Every time you create an experience, it's like, you're creating a universe, you're creating a world. So you have to be organized. You have to be cool and calm under pressure. I think anyone who's ever worked with me will tell you that one of my catchphrases is, "We'll figure it out." You always have to be able to roll with the punches. And what I will say is, if I had to give axioms to being successful in the space, number one for me is always be on time. Be on time, and that's not just literally being on time, but be on schedule with your planning, be on schedule with your run of shows, because the more that you add, when you're late, you're adding more pressure to what's already going to be a pressure-filled situation. So be on time. Prepare and plan for what you can, because there's going to be a bunch of unknowns that pop up. So plan, knowing that there's going to be something that you did not plan that you're going to have to adjust for. So anything that you can lay the groundwork for and make sure that you have planned properly, please do that before you even get to your event day, because there's going to be something that pops up that you have to deal with. And number 3, have fun. Like, if you're not having fun planning your event or coming up with your experience, then nobody else is going to have fun. So,
Period.
If it's not exciting to you, if it's not fun, then chances are it's not going to be exciting or fun to anybody else.
All right. Well, Michael, anything else you'd like to share about Essence or about yourself before we close out?
Well, I would love to see everybody at Essence this year. I'm looking forward to being. This is my first time actually on this side. So I've worked with Essence in several different capacities on the outside, but to be on the inside and see all the inner workings and really see it from this vantage point, I'm very excited about that. And I really hope that all of you, who is ever watching, is interested, will come down and check us out. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention that we're also doing this year because of our deep love and respect for Louisiana and New Orleans, and making sure that Louisiana and New Orleans feels that Essence is theirs and not ours, we have instated a discount for Louisiana residents. So there's a 10% discount for tickets. You can go right up to the box office and show your driver's license, your Louisiana state ID or driver's license, and you will get issued a 10% discount as being a Louisiana resident. So that's something new as well this year that I'd be remiss if I did not mention.
How long? Because I'll talk to the Loyola team. Perhaps we can let our students know about that. Those students are in some couple of the summer sessions. How long is that valid for?
So it's basically based on the box office hours. So the box office will be open this Friday,
Okay.
and then it will be open all of the week of the 27th, every day leading up to the first day. So box office hours, you can check on superdome.com. I believe they're 9 to 5, but please, confirm that before arriving. But as long as the box office is open, you can walk right up to the Superdome box office and get discounted tickets for this year's festival.
I didn't ask that correctly. The deadline, is it through 6/29, like the day before the first concert, like through next week?
It is through till the first day we get started. Tickets are, as long as tickets are on sale, it's available.
Okay, so I'll circle back on the specific details that we can share that with our students. So
Yep.
Thank you so much, Michael. We really appreciate you and value you. And hang out there for a second. I'm just going to close us out
Okay.
and hang out. So thank you guys so much for watching Loyola University, New Orleans. We pride ourselves on not just providing theoretical content in the classroom. We have an amazing, amazing suite of professors that are not only in the classroom, but we also are making sure that we bring our connections to you in the classrooms, but also via our YouTube content. So subscribe, come back as we provide more and more content to ensure that you have what you need to excel as you graduate from Loyola. And if you're not at Loyola yet, we hope to see you there. So Essence Festival is coming up. For those of you who are watching this in the month of June or the top of July, make sure you check out essencefestival.com and get your tickets. Take care. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.